What do you say in the final moments before you're killed for standing up for your people? These African leaders weren't just politicians, they were warriors, visionaries, and symbols of resistance. They may have been murdered, but their last words, more powerful than the bullets that tried to erase them. Number 1. Dedan Kimathi. Kenya, 1957. Dedan Kimathi led the Mau Mau uprising, shaking the foundations of British colonial power in Kenya. To the empire, he was a threat. To his people, he was a warrior. Shocking fact, after his execution by hanging, the British buried his body in a secret, unmarked grave, and to this day no one knows where it lies. Even facing death, he refused to break. I have no regrets. My only regret is that we did not succeed soon enough. Number 2. Ruben Nyobé. Cameroon, 1958. Nicknamed the Black Hummingbird for his tireless activism, Ruben Nyobé led a movement against French colonial rule with unity and nonviolence at its core. Shocking fact, the French army tracked him through the forest, then shot him dead like a hunted animal. His body was publicly displayed to terrorize supporters. But his message rang clear until the end. We do not hate France, we only demand the right to govern ourselves. Number 3. Félix-Roland Moumié. Cameroon, 1960. Leader of the Union of the Peoples of Cameroon, UPC. Moumié fought French colonialism with powerful speeches and global diplomacy. The French couldn't silence him with bullets, so they used poison. Shocking fact, he was assassinated with radioactive thallium in a Geneva restaurant disguised in a drink by a French secret agent. He died days later in agony, defiant to the end. His final mission was clear. Africa will not be free until her children write their own history. Number 4. Mehdi Ben Barka. Morocco, 1965. Mehdi Ben Barka was a brilliant anti-colonial intellectual and fierce critic of neo-colonialism, who believed Africa and the Third World deserved a voice on the global stage. He was planning a global summit for liberation movements, but vanished in Paris before it could happen. Shocking fact, he was abducted in broad daylight, reportedly by French and Moroccan agents, tortured, and never seen again. His body was never found. His words still haunt the corridors of power. Politics is too serious a matter to be left to the politicians. Number 5. Steve Biko. South Africa, 1961. Steve Biko was the mind behind the Black consciousness movement, urging Black South Africans to reclaim their pride and humanity. But the system saw his words as more dangerous than any weapon. Shocking fact, he was beaten so badly by police that they dumped his half-conscious body in the back of a van and drove him 700 miles without medical care. He died in custody at just 30 years old. His final philosophy still echoes today. It is better to die for an idea that will live than for an idea that will die. Number 6. Patrice Lumumba. Congo, 1987. Patrice Lumumba, the first elected Prime Minister of Congo, was seen as a threat not just by Belgian colonists but by the CIA. Shocking fact, his assassination was so brutal his body was dissolved in acid to erase any trace of him. Before that, he managed to send one final letter to his wife, and to history. Neither brutality nor cruelty nor torture will ever force me to ask for mercy. Long live Congo, long live Africa. Number 7. Amílcar Cabral. Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, 1973. Cabral wasn't just a revolutionary, he was a trained agronomist and intellectual who believed in empowering minds before arming hands. Shocking fact, he was assassinated by his own comrades, people within his movement, before independence was won. His words remain a moral compass for movements today. Tell no lies, claim no easy victories. Number 8. Thomas Sankara. Burkina Faso, 1977. Thomas Sankara was only 33 when he became president, and in just 4 years he vaccinated millions, planted forests, and slashed his own salary. Shocking fact. He rode a bicycle to work and banned government officials from driving luxury cars, then was executed in a coup led by his best friend. Still, his belief never wavered. You cannot kill ideas. Revolutionaries may die, but the revolution continues. Number 9. Samora Machel. Mozambique, 1986. Mozambique's first president, Samora Machel, helped liberate his country from Portuguese colonial rule. Shocking fact. His plane crashed near the South African border, and investigations showed that a false navigation beacon may have lured the aircraft off course, possibly set up by the apartheid regime. Before his death, he left behind a chilling vow: "I will die with my heart facing the front and my back to the wall." 1. Chris Hani. South Africa, 1993. Chris Hani fought apartheid with words, will, and fire. As the armed wing commander of Umkhonto we Sizwe, he became one of South Africa's most beloved revolutionaries. Shocking fact: just as the country stood on the edge of freedom, Hani was gunned down in his driveway. The rage that followed nearly sparked a civil war. Only Mandela's calm intervention held the country back from chaos. But Hani had already warned, "What I fear is that the liberators emerge as elitists, who forget the poor." They died for land, for dignity, and for the future of their people. Each one was a threat not because of violence but because of truth. You can kill the man, but never the message. Which of these final words hit you the hardest? Leave their name in the comments and make sure the world never forgets.